This
Sir, I have one
conference
doubt
will
in
now
after
be
APP.
recorded.
Yeah, go ahead, Vinod.
Sir, actually, yesterday I tried one APP. After that, I want to delete that APP run, whatever I had run. What is the option, sir, to delete that?
First, you have to delete to what extent you have done.
I have selected wrong vendor, so I
Now, your
want to
APP
reverse
is
that one.
completed until proposal or payment also completed.
Payment also done, sir. Document also done.
If payment is also completed, you cannot delete it. Only thing that you can do is you have to reverse the payment and then you have to run the APP again with a different run date and then identification. Once payment is executed, you cannot do it.
In FB0, it is not possible. Huh?
In FB,
Document reversal, FB08.
no, because your payment document is a clearing document, right? You should go to FBRA.
No, okay, there we can reverse, right?
Reverse it. Any clearing document is to be reversed with FBRA. Reset and reversal we did, if you remember, during our GL postings.
Yes. I remember, sir.
So,
Reset for
yeah, that you
FBRE
have
we
to
have
do
to
it.
clear.
Correct.
Okay.
Because any payment document, if it is
Ah,
payment against invoice, it will be a clearing document. Must be reversed using FBRA, reset and reverse. If your payment is on account payment, you can reverse it with FB08. On account means no
okay.
connection to the invoice, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, that one you can do direct reverse.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay. Now, I'll give
S-
you, go ahead, Ajay.
uh, Sir, what are the tables level we can check from AVZP configuration and APP run? There are some tables
That I will
related to
show, but
APP.
before that, we have to
Okay.
make sure that we are thorough with the execution part. The table and all is straightforward, so that will not take much time.
Okay.
It's a theoretical
Okay.
content. I'll show how we have to know the tables. Those points I will
Sure.
give a list.
Okay. Sure. Sir, another point is, sir, in real time also we can use only C for check payment method and T for bank transfer. Other than that, we are not using the any other payment method. Only this, apart from these two.
Yes,
Or
majoritarily these two are used. Even if somebody is asking you in the interview, straight away
okay.
tell for check payment method C, for transfer T, because when you're practicing, because your payment method is not available, you're creating any alphanumeric identification, maybe star dot 1 2 3 4 A to Z. But in real
Okay.
environment for your client, no others will create the data. C and T is SIP standard, available for every country. Only those things we will be using.
But sir, for identification purpose, can we make some additional payment method for client requirement
Yeah,
purpose?
yeah,
Means
you can
if
create
any.
the additional also. Yes,
Okay.
but
And sir, another
recommended
thing
are
in
CT.
CT, right? Okay. And sir, in the manual BRS configuration, you have put their plus sign in account modifier and some other what is that column? I can't remember right now. You
Currency.
put the plus sign. So what is the reason, sir, to put the plus sign, sir? Uh,
Plus is
is
masking, which
uh,
means valid for all the bank accounts, valid for all the company codes. It's not restricted to any particular one. As we
okay.
discussed,
All the
your BRS
uh,
configuration is at chart of account level. According to
right,
our org structure, all the company
hmm.
codes will be using same chart of account. Agree?
Right, sir.
So
Yes,
whether your company code is in India or in US or any other
yes.
country, all our company
Okay,
codes will be part of same chart of account. If your BRS is made at chart of account level, which represents
okay.
BRS for any company code in any country is common.
Hmm.
Because the way
Acha,
you
BRS
do the
is common.
reconciliation of your bank balances should be at corporate level, in short at group level, same logic to be
Okay,
followed everywhere.
okay. Or sir, can we make
Okay?
the forex payment through APP, sir? Also, forex payment
Yeah,
through
yeah,
APP.
you
Can we
can do
make?
it. Yes.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay. All right. Now I'll give some approach. So before we start the session, now points that you have to remember is first point. Now Now, as we agreed, as we understood that by 31st December, we are going to cover majority of the portion that is related to your interviews. To make sure that we are in a position to understand, we are in a position to face the interview confidently, we are targeting certain topics, areas to become more comfortable and then more confident. In order to achieve this, point number one, these points you have to frequently revise and make sure you are in a position to talk, explain. First one is GL posting and then reports. When we talk about GL posting, normal posting, ledger specific posting, leading ledger, non-leading ledger, reports like your balance report, line item report, trial balance, these points you have to remember and keep in mind P&L balance sheet. P&L balance sheet we will cover in the next week. How to generate P&L, how to generate balance sheet, I will explain in the next week session. Apart from this, revise your AP. When you're talking about AP, make sure you are able to understand and you're able to explain BP, business partner functionality. After this business partner functionality, transactions in AP. When you're talking about transactions in AP, make sure you're able to create business partner, you're able to convert business partner into a vendor, and then you're able to create vendor invoice, vendor credit memo, vendor down payment, and then vendor normal payment. Within that, partial payment, residual payment, on account payment. These scenarios you must be in a position to execute. And mode of payment, how cash payment is made to vendor, how bank payments are processed to vendor, how house bank is created, how cash journal is configured, how cash journal is reconciled, how bank payments are initiated, how bank reconciliation is performed. Till here, make sure you are able to understand in a sequential order logically. If you're talking about AP, don't make sure that you are able to post only AP transactions with respect to AP alone. Make sure you're able to connect different points within AP and you're able to connect this within AP transactions with various other sub modules like bank reconciliation, automatic payment program, and your payment methods, payment terms, discounts, all these kind of things we have to bring in between, and you have to keep on revising all the points. Do not go by the point wise, do not go by the topic wise. Make sure you are able to revise, you are able to explain from one topic and you are able to connect different other topics. And that is the reason we are doing bits and pieces every topic and on weekend session. So this weekend we are going to connect for long hours. When I say this weekend, the coming Friday and Saturday, the points that we are going to cover. 15th and 16th. So I'll put 15th December and 16th December. I will be connecting at flexible timings. So what we will do is one full cycle of AP, AR, APP, BRS is executed. So we will assume one scenario and we will understand what is accounts payable, how business partner is created, what configurations we are doing, and how transactions we are creating, how payments we are processing, how APP we are executing, how BRS we are performing. Full cycle we will execute with total configuration. Similarly, including BRS. Whatever the payment we are processing, we will do the reconciliation. Full configuration we will do. Currently what we are doing, we are configuring outgoing payment and then we are understanding, taking an assignment to process the another outgoing payment similar to this. In the weekend session, I will run the full cycle so that in one single recording, you can understand one full cycle and you can refer that recording for your review purpose in order to understand how the overall configuration is to be maintained. And on 16th, we will be covering different other topics. When I say different other topics, we need to discuss on the various other topics. The other topics that we will be covering, which is to be revised on 16th December. Now we will be talking about assessment cycle, distribution cycle, internal orders, cost center posting. So this will be executed on Saturday. On 15th, this we will be executing. On 16th, this we will be executing. If it takes 3 hours, if it takes 4 hours, if it takes 5 hours, we will be completing this on next Friday. If it is taking 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, we will be completing it on 16th December, which is next Saturday. And now we have already completed all of this. Basic AP we are aware. AR we have to create customer and all. Now during our BRS testing in today's session, we will do the AR part now, and we will do the BRS for incoming payments. And automatic payment we are already aware. Bank reconciliation we have already understood. In BRS, we will be doing both manual plus electronic BRS using MT940 format. And now here on 16th, we will be talking about assessment cycle, distribution cycle, internal order, cost center posting. Here we are trying to understand on these areas, we will have thorough understanding. We will be seeing the full cycle. We will execute one assessment cycle, we will test it. Similarly, one distribution cycle we will execute, we will test it. Internal orders we will create, we will test internal order, how postings are happening, how settlements are happening in internal order. Similarly, how cost center postings are happening, how cost center reports are executed. In case if you want to transfer or if you want to settle data from cost center, how do we do it? This full cycle, full understanding we are going to have on 16th December. And before 16th December, in our regular sessions, we will complete these topics. And on 16th, this will be a revision. On 15th, this will be a revision full cycles. So that whatever bits and pieces we are seeing now, we will execute a full cycle at a stretch. Okay. So that in one go, you are able to see overall picture as a revision that will make us feel more confident, more comfortable, and allows you to talk effectively in your interviews. Okay, so this will be the target for our next week. Okay, now in today's class, what we are going to do is, since we completed bank reconciliation, how it is happening using manual BRS process for outgoing payment. Now let us try to create BRS for incoming payment. Now I'll write BRS for incoming payment. Now it is exactly the same process that we executed for outgoing payment when it comes to incoming payment. So what I'll do, I'll just go up, I'll pick up the transaction that we recorded for incoming payment. I am going to take the same check payment. I will pick this check receipt. Okay, I'll pick this check receipt. Now I'll put a heading BRS for incoming payment. Now in order to perform BRS, first you have to do the transaction related to incoming payment. Now incoming payment we are going to receive from the customer. When you will receive the payment from customer? Only when you give a benefit to the customer. How we are going to give a benefit to the customer? By way of a sale. What we are going to sell to a customer? You will be selling either a product or a service to the customer. Now how the sale will happen is again a different story. You may sell to a customer directly from the finance module or from the SD module. If you are selling to the customer directly from the finance module, that is your normal FI posting or FI sale, which is posted using F-22. Debit your customer account, credit sales GL account. It's a manual posting. On the other side, when you are selling it through SD module, we are talking about OTC cycle, which is order to cash or FIST integration. During FIST integration, what system will do is, you are going to create a sales order first. You, in the sense, business will raise a sales order in the name of a customer. In the sales order, we are going to include name of the sale, name of the service or name of the product. In short, material or the service, whatever we are selling to the customer, we are going to include it in the sales order. Based on the sales order, you are going to create a delivery. Based on the delivery, we are going to do a PGI. Based on the PGI, we are going to do a billing. Now, at the time of a billing, you are going to create an accounting entry called customer account debit, sales account credit. In short, our accounting entry for sales is generated based on FIST integration. Okay, so once FIST integration is executed, there will be an accounting entry recorded in the customer account, wherein customer account will show a debit balance. Debit always shows an asset. Customer is an asset. What kind of asset? Customer is a current asset, which means any amount that is recoverable, that is receivable within 1 year or less than 1 year is your current asset. Whenever you make any sale to a customer, we are supposed to receive the payment or we have to collect the amount within 1 year. Normally, we will never give 1 year credit limit, 1 year credit period to any customer. On an average, 1 month, 45 days or 2 months, maximum 3 months credit period will be given to a customer. On an average, let us assume that you are going to provide 1 month credit period, in short 30 days credit. If you are making sale today, you have to collect the amount by 30 days. If it is 8th December, you have to collect the payment by 8th January. Make sure by 8th January payment is collected. Now, when you are receiving the payment from the customer, there are two ways. In fact, there are three ways. Customer can give you the cash, which is your cash receipt. All the cash receipts are created using petty cash or cash journal. Now, cash journal is not part of BRS because cash journal is part of your cash reconciliation, which is scheduled to take place on a daily basis. In any organization, cash reconciliation will take place on a daily basis, which is a different independent activity. In case if you are receiving the payment through bank, there are two ways. Point number one, you may be receiving check from your customer. Point number two, you may be receiving bank transfer or online deposit, direct deposit from your customer. In this case, there are two separate mode of payments. Now you have to segregate. Whatever the cash payments that are received, there will be a different account called cash incoming account. Whatever the payments that you are receiving in bank, again you are going to create two different GL account. Check incoming account is a separate GL account. Transfer incoming account will be a different GL account. Tomorrow, if you want to do the reconciliation, if you need to do the payment analysis, you should have a clear GL account. Your customer is telling that we have processed your payment by using a check and this is the check number. You need to make sure if this particular check is accounted or not. In order to see if the check is accounted or not, you have to see the check incoming GL account. Inside the check incoming GL account, we need to ensure that the user will input check number in one of the fields. We assumed check number is to be updated strictly in the assignment column at the time of a payment entry. Whenever you are recording the payment transaction, we need to ensure check number is updated in the assignment column. Based on the assignment column, you are going to perform BRS or bank reconciliation statement. Exactly the similar way that we did BRS or bank reconciliation for check outgoing process. On the other side, if your customer is processing the payment based on the bank transfer, you are not aware how the transfer is made from your customer. What your customer will give you? Customer will give you an email confirmation along with the payment advice. Customers will tell you, dear supplier, this is what the amount that we have sent to your bank account. Please find the acknowledgement slip or the deposit slip or confirmation number. What confirmation number, deposit slip, acknowledgement that they will provide us is whatever is given by the bank. Bank will tell them that so and so payment has been processed successfully to Mr. XYZ please find the transaction reference number or UTR number, unique transaction reference number. This transaction reference number will be given to us by the customer. When this is given to us by the customer, you are going to account the customer receipt or customer payment. When you are accounting the customer receipt or customer payment, your accounting entry will be bank incoming account debit. If it is coming through check, check incoming account. If it is coming through transfer, transfer incoming account will be debited, and your customer account will be credited because there is an existing receivable on the customer account which is showing a debit balance. Since it is already recovered, you are going to put a credit, so that debit credit your receivable amount will become zero. Once this is done, what we are going to do, we are going to make sure that the receipt number or the acknowledgement number, confirmation number, whatever is provided by the customer will be updated in the payment document, either in the reference column or in the assignment column. How we are going to decide whether to update transaction reference number in the reference column or in the assignment column is based on the length. Check number, it is straightforward. Check number is always below 10 digits. Check number is always below 10 digit. But when it comes to bank transfer reference number, sometimes it may be 13 digits, it may be 15 digits, it may be 18 digits, it may be 22 digits also, depending upon the bank. Accordingly, we have to use either reference column or payment reference column. If the length is less, you can also use assignment column. If these are not possible, you can also use based on the document number. So one logic we have to freeze, based on which your payments are supposed to be reconciled, payments are supposed to be matched with your bank statement. So once we are clear with this process, whatever is normally executed, followed in any organization, in the similar way you have to see when you are practicing. So when we see the similar way, similar process, wherever you are talking to whomsoever you are explaining, make sure the same approach, same sequence, same logic you are explaining, so that the other person will get convinced that yes, this candidate has worked on the project and he or she is aware of what exactly happens in any project, in any organization, and what flow we have to remember. Now, in order to execute this BRS scenario, we need to execute one test scenario right from the beginning. Now, what we need to do is, assuming that I'll say check received from customer, I would say national mart for 45,000 INR. Sorry, I'm writing check. I will put check number. Check number, let's say 66 some number. This check number received from customer National Mart for 45,000 INR. This is the scenario we need to make sure that it is executed, and this 45,000 INR we need to do a BRS. In order to execute this scenario, first we need to bring 45,000 sale into the customer account. If it is only with respect to BRS, you can directly put a debit entry in bank GL account, you can do it. But since we are executing in a proper manner, we have to do it through a proper sale cycle. So what I will do here is, I will do a finance sale or FI sale here, because we are yet to configure FIST integration. Once FIST integration is done, we will execute one sale cycle through sales order and one purchase cycle through purchase order. Now, in order to execute this, first I need to understand who gave me the check. Check is given to me by National Mart. National Mart is a customer. We need to make sure customer account is created. Now, in order to create customer account, we require accounts receivable configuration. In order to do the accounts receivable configuration, we need to make sure first business partner concept is clear, and then we are clear with the accounts receivable concept. We need to make sure BP and accounts receivable, in short, customer is connected. Based on that, customer master is created, BP master is available, create the transaction, bring the sale into the customer account, record the payment in customer account, show the payment in the bank out incoming account, and perform the reconciliation, transfer the amount from incoming GL to main GL account. Now things will look simple when we actually talk, but when we are going to do this practically, we have to be very careful, we have to be very conscious in what scenario, at what flow we have to run the sequence. So first thing, let us write accounts receivable baseline configuration. Now, in order to do the accounts receivable baseline configuration, first point is to understand always that you are going to define customer related configuration as we did for the vendor related. Whatever we did for vendor, for customer it is quite opposite. To do the config, let me log into SAP.
Ajay, for 9,000, the AR is configured. So,
I will add another account group, new account group I will add.
okay.
Okay, so to do the configuration, let's go to financial accounting, accounts receivable and accounts payable. And here I will take customer account because we're talking about accounts receivable. Accounts receivable is all about customer account. Let me open the customer account. Inside the customer account, we are going to define configuration inside master data. Inside the master data, you have to open preparation for creating a customer master data. First setting will be define account group with a screen layout. Let me enable the transaction code. To enable the transaction code, as we know, go to additional information again, display key, IMG activity, and the last 4 digits will be the transaction code to be used for this. Let me put this first, screen layout rule. This is the first setting, and the T code for this will be OBD2. Let me put OBD2 here. This is the transaction code. And after this, second setting will be number ranges for customer account. I'll copy this number range. T code is XDN1. I'll put this here. T code will be XDN1. Next, third setting is assign number ranges to customer account. Copy this. T code will be OBAR. I'll put this here. T code is OBAR. This is the third transaction code which we have to create. And these are the first 3 transaction codes that are to be created. After that, fourth one you are going to create tolerance group for customers. Now tolerance group for customer, where we are using OBA3. For customer and vendor, it is the same T code, OBA3. Make sure that OBA3 setting is in place for your company code, which is common for both customer as well as for your vendor. Next one we require is business partner related configuration. First, let us complete this configuration, then we will go to BP, or we will put all the configurations here, then we will define the settings one by one. For business partner, what I'll do is let me minimize financial accounting. Business partner configuration exactly the same what we did for our vendor. Go up, cross application components. Inside the cross application component, you are having SAP business partner. Open SAP business partner. Within SAP business partner, open the setting called business partner. Inside the business partner, basic setting. In this, number ranges and grouping. First one is your define number ranges. T code is BUCF. Copy this and define. I'll put BP number ranges. For this, there is a T code called BUCF. And the next setting, which is your sixth one, define groupings and assign number ranges, for which there is no T code. We have to come through the IMG path. This I'll put. IMG path, I am going to place this here. How do I get IMG path? Just do a right click on this, the setting whatever you find in SPRO, do a right click, click on show path, and you will get the path. Just copy this and put this path here. Okay, I am putting the IMG path here. After this, there is one more setting that we need to define, setting number 7. Once we complete this business partner setting, we have to do something called master data synchronization. Let's open master data synchronization. Inside the master data synchronization, we need to go to customer vendor integration, which is nothing but CVI. Open this customer vendor integration. In this business partner setting, inside the business partner setting, we are talking about customer account. Open customer account or settings for customer integration. In this field assignment for customer integration. Inside the field assignment for customer integration, you have assign keys. These two settings, out of these two settings, we will be working on the first one, which is always BP to customer. In case if you are in any migration project from ECC to S4HANA, at that stage we will be working on customer to BP. Otherwise, it is BP to customer. Copy this and put the node here, and let us put IMG path here. To copy the IMG path, do a right click, click on show path, copy the total path here, Control C, and I'll put the IMG path here. In short, this is the configuration that we need to make sure before you create any customer master data. Now let us define one by one. What you need to do before you do this setting or before you define the setting, make sure you are able to create, you are able to freeze the customer account group, customer number ranges. How did we understood the vendor account groups? In the similar way, you have to understand customer account group. In order to understand vendor account group, we understood what is the accounts payable representation in the balance sheet and how your vendors are identified. In the same way, from the customer point of view, we have to see what is the customer representation in the balance sheet, how we are showing the accounts receivable in our balance sheet asset side, whether we are showing everything as accounts receivable or we are showing everything as sundry creditors, or you are showing specifically the nature of receivable like accounts receivable domestic or accounts receivable local, accounts receivable export or accounts receivable foreign, intercompany accounts receivable, customer accounts receivable from employee, accounts receivable from third parties, accounts receivable from one-time customer. Whatever the way we are representing our customer receivables in our balance sheet, accordingly you have to freeze what account group you need to create. Exactly the same way that we have used for the vendor definition for the vendor account group creation. Nothing new here. Same, whatever we did for vendor, exactly the similar way you have to define it for customer. Now what we will do here for the customer is, let me go to the first configuration path. I will come out of this cross application component. Let me go to financial account. In financial accounting, first one, define account group with screen layout. Open this setting. Let me open another window. Yeah, it's working fine. OBD2. Let me open with T code. H810. If one of you is on this screen, please come out. Let me open this again. Let me close the session. SM12, H810. Okay, I think it's out. Let me open this now. Create customer account group with the screen layout. Add a new entry. I am defining it for 9000 company code for time being. So I'll select 9000. I am taking first two digits as 90, and then I'll put CU. Then I'll put 9000 customers. I'll click on save. Whatever the specific grouping that you have, domestic customer or export customer, intercompany customer, intra-department or intra-company customer, employee customer, one-time customer, accordingly you can put the description for it. I am writing one account group which is 9000 customer, 90 CU. After that, we are going to create number range interval. So instead of creating a new number range interval, what I will do is I will select existing number range only. I'll go to change interval. Whatever the number ranges that are already available, that are already existing, I will be picking the similar number range, similar interval here. So what I'll do is, currently I'm not selecting, I'm not identifying particular number range. I will identify a number range and then I will do it. This same way, the approach that we used for vendor, same approach, same logic we have to use it here. If you are deciding customer vendor group to be similar, we need to make sure domestic customer, domestic vendor, in short, local customer, local vendor will represent the same number sequence. If it is one series, customer vendor is one series, BP, domestic BP also one series, which will allow you to create business partner, customer, vendor, same numbering. Similarly, when you are creating foreign vendors, your foreign vendor, your foreign customer should be same grouping, and your foreign business partner should be same grouping, so that whenever you are creating a business partner for foreigners, in short, apart from your base country, if you are converting your business partner into a customer or into a vendor, same number will be used for BP customer, BP vendor. Similarly, any third party customer, any third party vendor, make sure same number range will be allotted. For intercompany customer, intercompany vendor, same number range will be allotted. This will be written side by side in your KDS document. Accordingly, number range is updated to make sure that there is no contradiction in the number range between customer and vendor. As we understood, the logic that is followed in any organization is business partner, customer, vendor should have same numbering. That is where we are using a concept called CVI, or customer vendor integration. So I'm not assigning any number range here because I wanted to use existing number range that is already used at the time of a BP setting. I will come back. I'm not assigning it here. Similarly, I am not assigning any number range to the customer group, or if there is any number range which is already created for 9,000. What is the number range that you created, Nagvina?
It's U1 something, but the T2 is also empty. You can use that one for that one. Both have same. T1,
Okay.
T2, T3.
So I will select T1. Now for this T1, BP also has got the same number range, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I am going to assign T1, which is already existing in number range. I'll go to our account group 9 series 90CU. I am going to assign T1 number range here. Save this, enter. Once number range, I am using the existing number range, but as we discussed, when you are in any project, number range screen is a complete blank screen. Whatever the numbers that you have decided for your client, only those numbers will be created. No confusion like we get in our practice environment. Come back. Now the first three settings are completed from here. In short, accounts receivable configuration from customer point of view is completed. Next thing, we need to do the configuration from BP or business partner point of view, for which let me open cross application component. Inside the cross application component, if I go to, what is it, SAP business partner. Inside the SAP business partner, let us go to business partner. In this business partner, number ranges and grouping, define number ranges, same logic, whatever the number range that was already used for customer, it was T1. Make sure T1 is available here. T1 is available here. This is the existing number range, and the same number range from the customer point of view should be available. And the logic here that we need to understand, BP number range is always internal, customer number range is always external, to make sure BP customer will hold the same number. Now T1 is what we are assuming. I will come back. Since it is already available, I am not adding a new entry. Next one, define grouping and assign number range. Add a new entry. So grouping that I am going to create here is 90 CU. I'll put 9,000 customer. This also I'll put same 9,000 customer. Number range is T1. Enter, save this. Grouping and a number range is allotted here. Come back. Now BP settings are completed. After this BP setting, we have to open master data synchronization. Inside the master data synchronization, under BP setting, settings for customer integration, assign keys, define number assignment for direction BP to customer. Open this. Now if you recollect, all these settings are exactly the same, but in a reverse manner for customer. Now here also add a new entry. This is your BP grouping 90 CU. Your customer grouping is also same 90 CU. Make sure these two groupings are available and enable same number. When you press enter to enable same number, let me click on save. This is now being saved. Now one point we need to make sure here is, whatever the number range that is assigned to customer account group must be external. Whatever the number range that is assigned to your BP must be internal. Let us open customer number range, which is your XTN1. Let me open another screen to see the XTN1 number range for T1. XDN1. What number range we assigned is T1, which is an existing number range. Scroll down to see T1. T1 is here, and in this T1 the number range is external. It is external, which is correct. Come back. And the next one, we need to make sure the tolerance group for the customer is created, which is OBA3. In OBA3, this is your common tolerance group for both customer and vendor. Just come down, make sure for your company code 9000 tolerance group is existing. Just make sure for your company code tolerance is maintained. In short, your company code is part of this tolerance group setting. If this is there, that is fine. After that, what we need to do is, now that's it. Now all the settings whatever related to customer with respect to BP from S4HANA perspective we completed. Now let us try to create a customer master data. In our scenario, we are assuming that the customer scenario we are going to consider as National Mart. Now I need to make sure that the customer account will be created by name National Mart. To create the customer, first we need to create a business partner. To create a business partner, BP is the T code. Let me go to BP. Now while creating business partner, National Mart is not a person, it is an organization. Click on organization. Now while creating the business partner, make sure BP grouping is created. What grouping we created was 90CU. You can see 90CU here. Select this 90CU. Title, this is a company. Name, I will put National Mart. Search term, I'll put say National Mart. Scroll down. Street address, I'll say National Street. This is your complete customer address. Postal code, city, country, region. Fill up some information which is related to your customer, and then important thing is communication. Give the communication as English. Enter, and you can straight away proceed to save or create the business partner. Make sure your business partner will be created without any error. BP is now created. 2041 is the business partner number or BP number. Next, what we need to do, we need to assign or we need to convert this business partner as a customer. In order to convert BP as a customer, we have to assign customer role to the business partner. When we are talking about vendor, we were talking about two roles to a vendor. One is company code level vendor. Second one is purchase organization level vendor. Similarly to the customer, there are two levels. One is company code level customer. Second one is sales organization level customer. Company code level customer is your FI customer. Sales organization level customer is your SD customer. In order to create any transaction in the customer account, FI role is mandatory. To assign the FI role or additional role to the business partner, be on the change mode. If you look at the screen heading, this is your display organization. To go to the change mode, click on this icon. Switch between display and change, or you can press F6 key on the keyboard.
Ajay, I have a question on this
Like
screen.
this.
Do you want me to wait?
Go ahead.
If you do create the business partner, but for some reason you make a mistake with the group, maybe you didn't select it or something like that. How do you? Is there a way on this screen that you can add it on that?
No. If your other group is also following or using same number range, you can switch the group. Otherwise, what you do is you will not proceed further. You will just put a star here, and then you will leave this business partner as it is. You will create another business partner with the correct grouping. You will convert that as a new customer.
Okay.
And then this number, whatever is there, if you realize this before creation of a customer, when you have another request for a new customer under the current group which is incorrect for us, there you are going to remove the star. You will put the appropriate customer code. If there are no transactions, if there are transactions, No other go. You have to transfer all the entries from old account to new account and then block this. When you're blocking it, you have to put do not use as customer name so that no other entry can be recorded here. Okay. Now here, let me select the customer group, customer BP role. Customer BP role will be this one, FLCU00, which is your customer financial accounting. In short, this is represented as FI customer. Select this FLCU00, in short FI customer, and then go to customer general data. If you go to customer general data, based on our BP setting, system is automatically allotting the account group and the customer number is coming here based on CVI or customer vendor integration setting. When you make sure customer account group is updated, customer number is updated, straight away go to company code segment on the top. Click on this company code segment. Here update the company code in which you wanted to assign the customer. I wanted to assign the customer for company code 9000, press enter. For this 9000 company code, put this under a reconciliation account. Whatever the reconciliation account that we have, there you have to assign it. If it is domestic customer, foreign one time, or third party customer intercompany, the relevant or appropriate reconciliation GL account must be updated here. For now, I am selecting local customer. Okay, sort key you need to update. Sort key, let's say whenever you update or whenever you post any transaction to the customer account assignment column or assignment key will be updated based on the customer master sort key. For this, I am proceeding to save this. Let us make sure customer will be created without any error. Now we are able to see changes have been saved, which means customer master is now created. Once customer master is created, we need to make sure you are able to create a customer invoice. Before we create a customer invoice, let us verify the customer report to see how the customer report is showing before posting any transaction. To look at the customer report, it is FBL5N. For vendor, what we were using FBL1N. For customer, it is FBL5N. Press enter. 9000 is the company code, 2041 is the customer account, which is your national mart. Outstanding as on today. If I click on execute, there is nothing, no line items is selected. Now, first let me create one customer invoice. We are talking about finance invoice. Currently, we are not recording any SD or any sales order based invoice. In order to create a finance invoice, F-22 is the transaction. Press F-22. Customer invoice. Let's say I am going to do a sale on 5th December. I am doing a backdated sale, or I would say I am creating today itself, 8th December. Customer invoice is DR, company code 9000. All parameters as usual, I will say sale 1. Customer debit posting key is 01. Customer credit posting key is 11. Give your customer code 2041. Enter and give the amount. Amount, how much we are talking here is, we are talking about 45,000 INR. So I will update amount as 45,000 here. And I'll put sale 1 here. For customer, there is no profit center field because this is a subledger. For subledger, no profit center. Profit center is applicable only for the general ledger, which is a GL account. This customer account is giving you a GL account, which is coming from the customer master data. This is a reconciliation account. Now this reconciliation GL account will receive the profit center from the offsetting account. Customer offsetting account will be a revenue account, which is a GL account for sales. Whatever the profit center you are going to provide for the sales GL account, that profit center will be automatically updated in customer account based on document splitting. That splitting is called as active document splitting. Now let me put a credit. Credit is GL account. GL credit is 50. Let me open the drop down to identify sales GL account. Let me select sales. Where is sales? So I'm going to select this GL account called domestic sale. Enter, and I will update the same amount, 45,000. For sales, I am going to put a profit center, change controlling area to 9,000. Let me pick one profit center, sale 1. Enter and go to document, click on simulate, enter, and make sure you are able to simulate general ledger. When you do a general ledger simulation, you are able to see customer account is now represented as customer GL account, which is reconciliation account. This is updated with the profit center. How profit center is coming? Profit center is updated here based on the GL account, which is your offsetting account, revenue account. How this is updated? If you click on expert mode on the top, you can see this is a split according to base row. If you expand this, it is telling this line item is a split based on the base line item 002. This is your base line item number 2, which is your sales GL account. In sales GL account, whatever the profit center was there, it is split here. This is nothing but your active document splitting. Come back. Proceed to save this. Now the true account assignment object with revenue, this is coming because our sales is a revenue account. Any revenue account is treated as revenue cost element. For revenue cost element, you have to update COPA profitability segment. To update profitability segment, you need to define operating concern, which we have defined. But if you do not assign that also, you can still process the entry, which is how we are proceeding now. I'll press enter. Now sale entry is created. If I go to customer account now, let me refresh customer account once again. In customer account, now we are able to see 45,000 debit balance. Debit balance means asset. We are supposed to receive 45,000 from a customer called National Mart. Assuming that customer had given you the payment by check. Assuming that customer had given you the payment by check, and this check you have to account in the check incoming GL account. Now in order to process the customer payment, there is one more transaction called F-28. Now I'll go to F-28. In F-28, I'll put the date, let's say 8/12. Customer payment is DZ. I'll put payment 1. Payment 1. House bank account ID, for now I'm leaving it blank. Account, I will be selecting HSBC check incoming GL account, because for this HSBC bank we are working on bank reconciliation. I'll select HSBC check incoming, amount same amount 45,000, and the text payment 1. I am not assigning any profit center to the bank GL account, assuming system is going to perform passive document splitting here, because this is a payment transaction. Payment is a clearing entry. For clearing entry, passive document splitting will be coming into the picture. Now I will select customer account 2041, press enter. When you press enter, you can find only one invoice is outstanding, which I am going to select now. I will be processing the payment here. But before I process the payment, let me simulate it. We understood whenever you are processing any payment to the check incoming account, you know what is the check number that you received from the customer. After receiving the check from customer, we are going to pass this entry. At that moment, go to the bank check incoming GL account. In the assignment column, input the check number that you received from the customer. If I come here, we have given a check number. This is what the check number we are assuming. Copy this check number 6651323. Come to SAP, input check number in the assignment column and click on back, or you can directly post. Let me post the entry now. Now entry is posted. In short, payment entry is recorded. Once payment entry is recorded, your customer outstanding should become 0. Customer outstanding should become 0. Let me refresh the customer report. Now customer outstanding is cleared. Now from this customer outstanding, you received the amount and then you posted the amount in check incoming GL account. Let us verify in the check incoming GL account whether you are able to see 45,000 INR or not. To see that, GL line item report FAGLL03. In this, update the GL account for check incoming, which is your HSBC check incoming 200,521. Outstanding or open items as on today, execute. You can find 45,000 amount appearing here. As we discussed in the assignment column, check number is coming 6651323. This is the check number you are able to see in the assignment column of the check incoming GL account. Once you are able to see this here, here is where your BRS will come into picture. Now we accounted one entry in the check incoming account. You are going to move this check incoming account from, you are going to move this check balance from this sub account to the main account based on the bank statement. Assuming that you received the bank statement, and in the bank statement this 45,000 is credited to your account. You deposited the check today in your bank and the check is approved in the bank, or the funds are credited to your bank account today itself. If your funds are credited to your bank account, you will be able to see the amount updated, or your account balance is increased to the extent of 45,000. Once you are able to see this, you are going to do a reconciliation entry. This reconciliation entry will be a transfer posting of 45,000 from check incoming account to the bank main account. In short, from HSBC check incoming, the 45,000 will be moved to the HSBC main account. In order to do this, we need to maintain BRS configuration. As we understood in yesterday's session, BRS config, whatever we did yesterday, same steps we need to repeat now. Let me go to BRS settings. If I go a little up, these are the configuration steps which we did yesterday. Now the configuration where we performed was inside SPRO. In SPRO, SAP reference IMG. In this, financial accounting. In financial accounting, bank accounting. In this bank accounting, business transactions. In this payment transaction, inside the payment transaction, manual bank statement. Open manual bank statement, and we have to make sure the settings are enabled to make your check incoming BRS. First one, we need to go to the second step, define posting keys, posting rule. Open this setting, give your chart of account 9000. BRS is at chart of account level. First one, what we need to make sure is the account symbol is created. 9090 series is what we created yesterday. You can see here we created one for main account, one for check outgoing account. Now check incoming account is what we are trying to create. Create another account symbol for check incoming account. What I'll do, I'll just create a copy of it and I'll put, this is CO for check outgoing. I will put CI representing check incoming. Now I'll put HSBC check incoming. I am going to save it. Enter. Check incoming, I am pressing enter. First step is completed. Second one, check outgoing, whatever you created, copy of check outgoing will be check incoming. Copy outgoing and make this account symbol to check incoming. Plus plus will remain as it is. GL account for check incoming is ending with 1. Make sure check incoming account is created. Save this setting also. Next one, create keys for posting rule. Double click on this posting rule that we created yesterday with 9 series. 9CHO was created for check outgoing payment. Make a copy of it. 9HCI I will make it. HSBC check incoming payment. This is check incoming payment. Copy this. Next one, define posting rule. Yesterday what we created for this was 9 series. Check outgoing. Copy check outgoing. Make a copy of it. Check outgoing will be check incoming CI. Everything will remain as it is. Remove the posting indicators here. 40, 50. This I'll remove. This also I'll remove. Remove everything here. And accounting entry that will be recorded for check incoming bank reconciliation. Now if I come here, this is your BRS entry. This is the BRS entry for check incoming account. For check incoming BRS, debit will be bank main account, credit will be check incoming account. Go to SAP. On the debit side, you put bank main account. This was bank main account. On the debit side, you put account key related to bank main account. And on the credit side, you put account symbol check incoming account. Incoming account is on the credit side, main bank on the debit side. The logic is for main bank account you will put posting key. For sub account there will be no posting key. Since there is no posting key on the credit side, you have to select a posting type credit GL account. Select a posting type which is your clear credit GL account. Pick this one. The remaining things will remain as it is. Remaining things will remain as it is. If you look at this, this is how it is looking at. Posting key 40 we are giving, bank main account we are updating, credit side no posting key because you want system to do a transfer posting from check incoming account to the bank main account. Document type we wanted was ZR, posting type is credit clear GL account, that is why credit side posting key is blank. Proceed to save. And after this setting is done, come back, and this variant for manual bank statement is a one-time activity. Variant is a one-time activity, we don't do it repeatedly. And this one you have to make sure whenever you add additional entry, you need to make sure this setting is updated. Now what we did here is, this is what we created yesterday. Check outgoing account, make a copy of it, create check incoming. Posting rule is also check incoming. Yesterday outgoing account we assumed outgoing means reduction in the bank account balance, that is where there is a minus. Incoming means your incoming payment is going to add your bank account balance. Since your incoming payment or incoming bank amount will be adding the bank account balance, we are going to select positive value, which means it is doing a plus to the bank account balance. Reconciliation or the match off between the sub account and your bank reconciliation statement or BRS statement is based on the assignment column. You are going to match the check number from the bank statement with the bank GL account assignment column. So your interpretation algorithm will be 15. 15 is representing clearing based on assignment. If you see 15, clearing transaction, selection using assignment column. Make sure selection using assignment column is updated and give a text for this. This is HSBC. I will put incoming payment. Let me proceed to save this. Now with this, your BRS configuration is completed. Now we are all set for testing. How do we test it? In order to perform the BRS testing, first point that we need to ensure what is your account closing balance in the main account. To see the account closing balance in main account, there are two ways. One, you can see the overall account balance at the FAGLB03 level. Two, you can see the account closing balance on a particular key date. To see the closing balance on a key date, FAGLL03, key date is today, and I am going to update open items in my main account. Because your bank reconciliation statement and your account balance is always verified at main account level, not at sub account level. Make sure main account number is given. Main account is always ending with 0. Click on execute. Current balance in the main account is 1000 negative. Once you update this bank account balance, which is 45,000 debit balance, 45,000 debit balance plus 1,000 credit balance should give you a closing balance of 44,000. Once our bank statement is uploaded now, we need to look at the bank closing balance of main account, which should reflect 44,000 now. Current balance of 1,000 credit plus additional balance of 45,000 debit will result the net closing balance of 44,000 debit balance. That is what is our intention. Now, in order to do the BRS, we know that you have to maintain this setting in, or you need to perform the BRS for manual FF67. Go to FF67. Here, for the next statement onwards, you don't have to do the manual entry. Only for the first statement, you will input the data manually. From second statement onwards, we do not have to input data manually. Instead, you click on overview on the top. Top left, you will find overview. Click on this statement overview. In this statement overview, focus on your company code. Your company code is 9000. For 9000 company code, look at the name of the bank. For which bank account you wanted to perform the BRS? HSBC Bank. Again, within HSBC, there may be multiple bank accounts that you are holding. Apart from HSBC Bank, also look at the bank key and bank account number, bank account currency. Identify the appropriate bank account for which BRS is to be performed. Just double click on that bank account. When you double click on that bank account, the previously processed statements will appear like a list here. Currently, the last statement that was created was 201. In the last statement, opening balance was 0, closing balance was 1000. Now, when you upload the next statement, it must be in the sequential order. After 201, next statement number must be 202. You cannot skip the number or sequence in between, or it has to be in the ascending order, in the incremental series. Now, straight away, what you will do is, when you create a new statement manually, if you are inputting all the details manually, make sure the next statement opening balance is equivalent to last statement closing balance. As we know the basic accounting fundamental, closing balance will become the opening balance for the next date or for the next month. Similarly, last statement closing balance will become next statement opening balance. In this, closing balance is 1000. Same 1000 you need to ensure that you are able to match it with your bank main account GL. If this is not matching, then there is something wrong. Make sure this will exactly match. That is why for the bank main account, strictly no entries are allowed apart from BRS entries. Now 1000 in the GL account balance is exactly matching with 1000 your bank statement balance. Once this is matching, we need to perform or we need to process the next statement. You can simply click on new statement here. When you click on new statement, system will give you all the details automatically. Statement number it is taking it to, statement date, current date 8, opening balance is coming automatically, and closing balance you have to calculate. Current transaction that you are going to reconcile is 45,000 debit balance. Now your statement closing balance system will automatically show. Whatever the bank statement that you are holding in your system, it will give you opening balance is 1000, closing balance is 44,000 it will give you. You are not supposed to write a transaction value, you are supposed to write statement closing balance. Statement closing balance will be 44,000 because 45,000 a transaction value plus opening balance 44,000 will result 44,000 because 45 positive 1 negative, net will be 44. This will be the closing balance. After that, input the posting date. On what date this entry to take place? Today is the statement. I want system to record this entry with current date. Just press enter and make sure system is giving you the difference between opening balance and closing balance is 45,000. Same is the transaction value that we are holding here. 45,000 is the transaction value. From this transaction, you are going to reconcile based on the check number. Copy the check number and come here into the statement. Select the transaction, open the drop down. We are performing check incoming payment. Select check incoming payment. Value date, let us input today's date. Amount is 45,000. Check number or transaction reference number whatsoever you have to update in bank reference column. And if you are posting a direct entry from BRS, you need to make sure either profit center or cost center is manually given. If you are performing a clearing entry, you do not have to give profit center. System will take the profit center based on the document splitting with a method called passive document splitting. Now when you press enter, make sure this 45,000 amount is reflected here. Bank account statement balance plus manually entered statement line item balance should exactly match. Once it is matching, save the bank statement first. Once bank statement is saved, you need to save second time. You have to save this statement 2 times. First time saving to save the data, second time saving to post the data. Now let me click on post once again. Now statement posted. When the statement is getting posted, it is going to create a batch input session. To see the batch input session, SM35. Go to SM35. In SM35, it will give you house bank account ID. Select the session that is created. Click on process and click on process foreground. For the first time, you need to see how system is performing it. Once you understand how system is clearing the entry, next time onwards, you can simply select display errors only, proceed further. Click on process. Currently, we are processing in foreground to see how system is performing the entry. This is how system is updating all the information from our configuration. It is taking debit into the bank main GL account. Enter. Amount it is taking 45,000. Enter. No profit center is filled up. Enter. And it is trying to look for an open item from the GL account called 200,521, which is check incoming account. Enter. And it is looking for a key field called ZUONR, which is assignment field. In the assignment, it is trying to match with this code 66,51323. According to us, this is a check number. Enter. When you press enter, processing of batch input session completed. Click on session overview. Make sure that there are no errors. Come back to the bank statement now. Now we are on the bank GL account for bank main account. So this is your check incoming account. Let me go to, this is your bank main account. According to our scenario, after performing this bank reconciliation or after performing this BRS, make sure your bank main account will reflect 44,000. Go to list, click on refresh, make sure you are able to see 44,000 here. Now these numbers are known to the user, these numbers are known to the client, because when they are processing the statement, they are updating the data according to the statement. According to the statement, whatever is the statement closing balance, after performing the BRS, they will straight away come to this GL account, they will check the balance of this account. If they see the closing balance is exactly same like your bank statement, they will say fine. If it is not matching, if they find any differences, they will raise a ticket. When they say they will raise the ticket, they will contact the SAP consultant stating we performed BRS, but system is not showing the balance exactly, or there is something wrong. You have to analyze it. How do we analyze the bank statement and all? We will see in the upcoming sessions. For now, I want you to focus until the transaction. Now what we did here, we took one simple scenario. This is what the scenario we took. We received check from National Mart for 45,000. Check number we have taken. To do the full cycle, we did basic accounts receivable configuration. We created a customer, and then we did BRS settings, same settings that we did yesterday for check outgoing, and we are able to complete the configuration. How long did this take to create AR configuration and then to do this? Did we take more than 45 minutes or less than 45 minutes? How long did we take?
Less than 45 minutes.
Right? Now we have to understand the flow, we have to understand the sequence. That is your point number one that you have to focus. Right? And then when you understand the sequence, you will be clear with what you need to do to achieve the requirement. Same is the case whenever you get any requirement from your client in any organization, in any project. First, focus on the requirement, what they are doing from the business point of view. Don't see it from SAP point of view. When you are able to see it, when you are able to understand from the business point of view, it will be easy for us to understand. Accordingly, you can decide how you have to proceed to achieve the requirement. So when you are clear with the requirement, you can have your plan according to your understanding. Whatever the way you do it, it is up to you. End of the day, when I look at my bank statement, when I upload the bank statement, entry should get recorded and my bank balances has to tally. This is what will be the requirement. To meet this requirement, whatever the approach that you have, it is purely your choice, because as a consultant, you are free to take your own decision provided you are meeting the client or business requirement. Only when if things are not working fine, you will be questioned. Otherwise, you will never be questioned how you did, what you did. Nobody will ask. Everybody, what they look from you or what they expect is whether we are able to satisfy the client business requirement, whether they are able to execute the transactions without any error, and is it correct, accurate or not. To ensure that, you have to follow the flow in the similar way. Now with this, we understood how accounts receivable configuration is executed, how customer is created, how customer invoice is created, how customer payment is created, how customer payment is reconciled. Same is the case when it comes to your transfer payment. Transfer payment you are going to update either in the assignment column or in the reference column. If it is the reference column, your interpretation algorithm is based on the reference key. If it is document number, your algorithm is based on the document number. Same sequence, same flow you have to explain even to your interviewer in case if somebody is asking you. Don't just talk the BRS config, try to take an example and explain the flow. When I say take an example, explain the flow to do the reconciliation for any check payment, incoming payment. For example, you will get incoming payment on the sales. For sales, you have to tell the accounting entry, the flow. You can skip the accounting entries. You can simply start. When we do a sale to a customer, based on the sales, you are collecting the payment from customer. Customer can either pay by cash or by bank. If it is cash, cash is a daily reconciliation. For bank, it may be a check, it may be a transfer. Either of the cases, you are going to have two separate GL accounts, check incoming, transfer incoming, while recording the payment transaction from customer or customer receipt transaction. We are going to update either check number or transfer reference number in assignment column or in the reference column. Based on this column, whatever we are freezing, you have to strictly follow the same column. Client or user cannot change it. If we are instructing the user or the client that check number or assignment number should be the same. So whenever they record any receipt from the customer, check number or the transaction number or the transfer reference must be updated in the specific column strictly. If they don't update check number in the assignment column, or if they update check number in any other column apart from assignment column, system will not do the BRS or system will not do the reconciliation, as your configuration is going to work based on the assignment column. If things are going wrong, first thing that you are going to look at is what is the way that is configured, whether the execution happened in the similar way or there are any changes. Sometimes data may not be created properly. If data is not created properly, we will end up getting errors. First thing, always make sure if the process is followed correctly or not. Most of the errors will come into the picture because there is some issue or process is not executed in the sequential order or in a proper manner. Clear, right, on this process? This incoming BRS clear, right? So in the similar way, our EBRS will also work. In the next session, we will be working on electronic BRS with MT940 format. Same transactions we will do it. Configuration will also be the similar, except 10% change. Except 10% or maximum 20% change, everything will remain as it is. Next session, we will be working on electronic BRS followed by search strings in your EBRS. So any questions on this part now, Anjanelu?
Sir, for clearing, I mean, for payment, we have so many vendors, right? Maybe we will be having so many thousands of vendor payments. For that, if you do the individual, invoices clear, it will be a burden to the user. So for that, we will be using APP, Automatic Payment Program. At the same time, we will be having so many customers, right? For that, we will be having so many accounts receivables, invoices. For clearing that money, bulk invoices, is there any program like APP for AF, sir?
No, there is no program as such, but what you can do is you can create an LSMW for F-28 or you can record a BDC for F-28. So wherein the user will update all the customer payment related information or the customer receipt information in an Excel sheet. They will upload the file, but there is a condition: you need to make sure payment is against an invoice. If you do not have the clear differentiation or clear instruction, this payment is for this particular invoice, you have to do it manually, no automation. Because
For
whenever you
example,
record
today,
any customer payment or any customer receipt, you need to make sure you have to understand this receipt is received from a customer against what invoice, correct?
yes, sir.
So if you have that clear instruction, you can post this through upload programs. If not, no other go, you need to record the payment manually.
Well, when comparing to AP users, AR users will be having so many, manual work, right, here in this case,
Yeah, correct.
because they are using APP, bulk maybe thousands of invoices they will make payment at a time, but here not that case. So AR users will be having more work when comparing with to AP users, right?
Correct, because they have to take the confirmation that if it is a check payment, let's say if it is a check receipt, you need to make sure that you received the check physically in your hand from the customer. Only after receiving the physical check, you are going to pass the entry. It's not that I am your customer, I will tell you, Anjanelu, I have already processed your payment, this is the check number. If I tell you orally that this is the check number, you are not going to clear my account. Agree? You have to
Yes,
receive
sir.
the check physically.
Yes, sir.
After receiving the check physically, you will account it. After accounting, you will send the check for the deposit in the bank. In case if it is a transfer payment, I cannot say I have sent your payment, please verify this. No, you need the confirmation. When you need the confirmation, I need to give you the transaction reference detail. If I did through online transaction, I will get the transfer reference, or I have to provide you something called UTR number whatsoever. Now when I give you this number to you, just by looking at that you cannot account the entry. You will verify with the banking team, or you will have access to the bank. You will verify whether this amount is credited to your account or not. If the amount is credited in your account, only then you will pass the entry. Just like that, you will not record the receipts, especially from the customer.
Yes, sir.
You need to make sure that the receipt is received in your bank account. If you have the access to the bank portal, you will do it. If not, whosoever is having the access to the bank, you are going to send an email to the respective person or the team asking them to, can you please confirm if the below receipt is received in our bank. So whatever the transaction reference number you received from the customer, you will send it to the treasury team or to the banking team. They will verify if the amounts are credited to the respective account. If yes, they will confirm that yes, the below mentioned funds or the amount is received in so and so bank account. Accordingly, you are going to put a debit in the respective bank account. Otherwise, you are going to have so many bank accounts, correct?
Yes, sir.
So they may be depositing in any account. You need to make sure funds are received, and then you get a confirmation. Accordingly, you will post the entry.
Maybe in real time, yeah, AR users maybe more than comparing with to AP users, I think. Is it right, sir?
Yeah, because they have to make sure that the payments are actually received, they are valid payments credited, and then do it.
Yes.
You're right.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Ajay?
Sir, what is the exact meaning of tolerance, sir? Can you just explain in one line means exact meaning of tolerance
Tolerance is a
limit?
limit. Tolerance is a limit. Now, whenever you're recording any transaction to a customer account or to any account, whatever
Okay,
the amount that you put in tolerance, it cannot go beyond that.
okay. Means tolerance is only depend upon limit or some grace period also, some days.
It can be
Uh,
anything that your tolerance is a maximum amount. It cannot exceed that.
okay, maximum limit, maximum amount limit. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And sir, what is the exact use of algorithm? It is mandatory setting in BRS algorithm setting.
Yes, there are two ways of your BRS posting. As we discussed, one is direct entry, the other one is clearing entry. Correct?
Yes, sir.
If it is direct entry, in your BRS posting rule, you are going to tell the system debit credit along with posting key. Okay? If your debit
Okay.
credit is given along with the posting key, algorithm does not have any role to play there. So system is going to pass the entry without any algorithm. Algorithm is something, an assumption, a base logic. If you are telling the system debit
No,
this
you.
account, credit this account, use these posting
Okay.
keys, everything is straightforward. There is no point of algorithm in that case. In case of direct
Okay.
entries. On the other side, when
Okay.
you're talking about clearing entry,
Hmm.
when you're performing a clearing entry, you have to clear an existing item. Correct? When you have to
Right.
perform clearing for an existing item, assuming this is an existing clearing item, if I wanted to clear it, how do I identify
Hmm.
this? In this account there may be 100 of entries.
Right. In this
Out of
check or
100
incoming
entries,
account.
I need to pick,
Hmm.
out of 100 I need to pick the respective entry. On what basis I am going to identify this entry? I need to assign a field, either assignment column or document number, reference column, any other column. That column based on which you are going to identify the open item is represented by interpretation algorithm.
Okay. Means we have to find the unique number, whether it can be assigned check number, document number, or reference number. That is unique number, right?
Correct. Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Divyanjali. Ramesh.
Sir, in FF67, you while you're giving that overview there, directly you're calculating because of one transaction you're calculating and you're giving closing balance of that one. But in case of we have 10 or 20 transaction manually, we have to give over the fields are there. How?
No, 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 no. When you are giving the FF67 balance there, that is your statement balance. When I am doing the BRS, I am downloading the bank statement from the bank.
Yes.
Now every statement will have opening balance, closing balance.
Yes.
Now
So
whatever the
then,
closing balance in your bank statement, blindly that closing balance will be given in the ending balance. When you press enter, difference between opening balance and closing balance will be given by the system automatically, which is the sum of 20 transactions in the bank statement.
okay, sir. That but remaining directly you are showing here the balance in ABA through we are seeing only out closing balance here, right? So here you are running this one. So 20 transaction those the transaction where we can see where whatever the transactions were there.
You have to double click on this statement, then it will give you the list here.
So okay, there we have to statement number.
Yeah.
So these
Now,
transactions, no sir, continue.
yeah, now what we are seeing until posting only. After the BRS
Mhm.
posting, what will happen in case if things are getting posted, if half of the items are posted, half of the items are not posted, how do we deal all these things? I will explain in the further sessions. First, we are trying to understand, we are trying to get clarity on how BRS is processed, so that we will understand the exceptions, different scenarios within this.
Okay. In manual case also we'll get the exceptions and EBRS also same case, right, sir?
Same thing, same thing.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions on? All right. If no questions,
So,
let me stop the recording. Yeah.
so you said that for we need to do a BDC recording or LSMW recording for automatic like postings. So while doing LSMW, even after F-22, after F-28, even the recording will do clearing also at the
Yes.
next step. Okay,
Like
even that will be
for,
recorded.
yeah, F-28 is where we recorded the customer receipt. Agree? Where you cleared the invoice.
Yes, yes, sir.
Now for this, you can either do a LSMW recording or you can also get a BDC program through an ABAP. Both are possible.
Okay. Even the next step to this is clearing. Even that will be recorded and processed.
No,
Like
this
once we
itself
enter.
is a clearing, right? This itself will clear the invoice and it will post an open item in the bank incoming account, correct?
Yeah, but here where we are, if we have more than one invoices, then here where we are entering.
Here after this screen, you are going
Yeah,
to, if you are going to process based on the invoice number, you will select a document number here. When you press enter, it will allow you to input the document numbers.
yeah, that's what. After this screen, when we press enter, process open items, then we'll getting a screen.
Yeah,
Correct, sir?
you'll have
Yeah.
to do it. Yes. And there what you need to do is, whenever you are working on this recording, you have to take the requirement clearly. When I say you need to take requirement clearly, if you are recording, now there is no rule that your payment or your receipt is always against one single invoice. One receipt can be against multiple invoices.
Yes, sir.
Correct? If there are 3 open invoices in my account, I am not going to pay 3 times. I am going to pay one time the total of 3 invoices. Agree?
Yes, sir.
So your recording should handle such as cases also. If one receipt is received against 3 invoices, you will be in a position to upload in the same file. So for that, you have to first take the requirement. In one go, how many invoices will be received? Like in short, in general, from customers, in one single payment, how many invoices you usually get? Your user may say maximum, mostly it is single invoice, but sometimes we will get 2 invoices, 3 invoices, 4 invoices. But you don't need 2, 3, 4. Tell me the maximum number that you have seen so far. They may say maximum 10 invoices or 15 invoices. Accordingly, you are going to do a recording wherein in your recording you have to clear 15 invoices. Only then system will allow you to capture 15 document number fields. You got my point, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yes, sir. Got it.
Now, when you capture those 15 document numbers, in the recording, you are able to prepare a file, your upload file. In the upload file, you can give document numbers 15 columns. If one payment is received against a single payment, single invoice, you will update only first document number. From second to 15, you will leave it blank. For the other receipt from the other customer, if you received for 4 invoices, you are going to fill 4 document numbers. Likewise, in single upload, you can clear maximum 15 document numbers. So whenever you are creating these kind of things, we should always take the requirement, make a note of it, and make sure take a confirmation from the user. Only after that you take the configuration ahead or the development ahead. Later on, if the user or client is telling no, we want to have in this way also, then again you have to amend whatever is already created. Agree?
Yes, sir.
Now that will lead to a lot of inconsistencies. The user may say, no, we have given the requirement last week, still this is not ready. We did it, we showed to the customer, but they are asking some more corrections which were not discussed at the beginning. It is always represented as consultant mistake because we did not get the requirement clearly. User will simply tell, no, you did not ask any further questions. We thought you understood the requirement. It will allow us to create a number of invoices. So as a
Okay.
consultant, we have to think, we need to ask different cases, different scenarios.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Got it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. All right, fine then. Let me stop the recording.